And welcome back to MLG ProScrims. I'm Mr. X, finally joined by ex-carbon washed player, now Curse Las Vegas coach, now caster, Scott Gandhi Lucier. What is going on, Gandhi?
Well, since I can barely hear you, which is always fun. I can hear
always
Ron perfectly. I'm good. How are you doing, my friend? Technical issues are a blast, and I'm assuming they're all on my end.
They probably are.
But hey, I'm here. This is actually a pretty awesome matchup here.
I mean,
just to touch on it a little bit.
Yeah.
I just want to, before we get started, Matt, I just want to say, I don't want any bias casting out of you, Mr. Complexity.
I would never do bias casting. I've never done bias casting, but I'm going to make a prediction that Complexity is going to win. Unbiased. What do you think about that, Scott? He can't hear me again. He can't hear me again. He's trying to get me louder.
It's so quiet. I don't know what to say. Like, I'm like trying my best to like hear you, and it's just it's two guys, man.
I'm not whispering to you though. I can
Ron,
hear you.
Figure it out.
Ron is
your
our
job.
Technical genius here at MLG. MLG Ron. Scott is looking directly at Ron, probably because Ron is in front of the computer that Scott is being done on that. Yeah, you can full screen me.
What is going on?
And Scott is just mind blown. This is kind of like, it's probably the reaction that Scott had when he was dropped from Carbon back in the day. He was very confused. He didn't know what was going on with life. And, you know, that's probably the face that he had. But he was going to talk about just pretty much the same thing that I touched on earlier. You know, it's the complexity roster
Like, I
change.
hear what you're doing right now more clear than anything else in the entire world.
Yeah? Do you hear me? This is just ridiculous, you know, the internet.
That's what I'm
This is just ridiculous, you know. I'm sitting here and I'm trying to cast Scott, and you know, you just come in here, you're just messing everything up. You're like a bull in a china shop. You can't even reply to my insults. That's how bad it is. Scott, can you hear me now?
It was better for a second.
It was better for 1 second.
It's better right now.
Consistently.
It could get like a little better, but I can make do with this if we have to, I think.
All right, well, can you make do with this?
Yeah, I think I can wait.
Okay, we can do this. I was talking about, before you rudely interrupted me that you can hear me again, I was talking about the roster changes, obviously, between Complexity, TK, and EnVy, and I just want your opinion on all of them. And Optic, too. Optic picking up Ricky as well.
Yeah, there's music in the background. It's like dubstep. Don't know what that is. That's got to go. But okay. So first, I know it's Lennox, and like I'm gonna just strangle.
Yeah,
I know it is. But anyways, which team change are we talking about? Are we talking about the Optic
all
one,
of them. All of them. Pick which one you want to talk about. We have Karma going to Complexity. Ginjar to EnVy. Clayster to TK, just pick one. Ricky to Optic. I mean, whichever one you want. You know, you got your Curse Las Vegas boys picking them Killa. You can pick whichever one. You can hear me, and you can respond. You can pick whichever one you want. Well, the game's going to start, Ron, because the players want to play. The casters want to cast. Well, one caster wants to cast. The other caster can't hear the other one. So if you want to go into game until we can hear Scott and I can tell you what's going on, that's okay. Until we can hear Scott, we're just going to ride solo right now. That's pretty much what we're going to do. And I'm okay with that. I've ridden solo before. I can drive a car. Ron, you want to go to gameplay? We're about to start. And we're not about to start because the host just ended. So we are still waiting for Gandhi. We are still waiting for a game, but we have Complexity against EnVy. And I think that these two teams probably have the most adjustment to do with these roster changes. I mean, obviously part of Complexity, I'm not afraid to say that Karma's an amazing player. Best in the world, definitely up there contention. I mean, if he's not the best in the world, he is right under there. It's going to be interesting how we're going to fit him in. He has been fitting in well as of late when I've been there. It seems to be a natural fit. There seems to be a ton of chemistry, and it just has re-energized everybody. So I would say definitely an amazing pickup for us. Personally, I think Damon is awesome. I think an amazing person. He's an amazing player, and I can't wait to just kind of just mold him to how we would like him to be. We don't want him to change anything he does. We want him to do strictly what he is good at. EnVy replacing him with Goonjar, it's a little bit different. Goonjar's, he's very good, but they're going to dip a little bit, and I think you're going to have to see Proofy have to pick up the slack from that. Proofy had an amazing event at Columbus, definitely one of the top 5 to 6 players at the event, and I mean, he's going to need to step up in his slaying department a little bit in order to make up for that just a little bit dip from losing Damon. I also think that you're going to see Merc play extremely well. Merc played extremely well at Columbus. I mean, he had an amazing event. He was dropping numbers against everybody. He was doing his role as kind of a support, a secondary objective player, and I think his role will definitely increase. It's going to be interesting to see if Goonjar is going to bring any of his just kind of strategy and knowledge over from TK, and if EnVy is really going to adapt and use it. That was one of the things that when Karma joined EnVy, everyone was like, you know, Impact is going to, I mean, Karma's going to bring over the stuff that they did in Impact to EnVy, and it's going to just kind of transform them, and it's going to put, at the time they had JCap, so it's going to put JCap and Proofy in their place and Ray in their place, and you know, it's just going to change their whole way they're going to look, and they didn't really listen to him. So it's going to be interesting to see if they will just pick Goonjar's mind, because Goonjar knows a lot. Goonjar's a very smart player. TK obviously placed inside the top 2 consistently, so it'll be interesting to see if they just adapt and just learn from Goonjar. And I think when we're waiting for Scott, we might as well talk about the other roster changes. Obviously, we just saw TK extremely successful with Clayster. Clayster, amazing player, fits the role of Goon fairly well. There will be an adjustment period, a little bit more passive than Goon. Goon a little bit more aggressive. That'll work its way out of time. TK, though, a team built on teamwork and chemistry with an event about a month away. It'll be interesting to see if they can recapture that within that period of time. Curse Las Vegas, obviously we saw them, their opponent tonight, you know, with trying to rekindle that fire of Impact. It's going to be interesting to see if Nameless can fill that role, or if they're going to have to move Miracles and Killa to that more Karma role as they had on Impact to make it really work. And then the other roster change that was big, it was, well, I mean, there are 2 more. I would say JCap and Methods actually joining Replays and Classic. I think that's an underrated roster move. JCap played fairly decent at Columbus, you know, not really where JCap was. Scott, can you hear me?
Oh my god, I can hear you.
Like, good.
Yes, like I'm not listening to techno and I'm not like going insane from laughter. This is awesome.
Okay, you can hear me.
Yes, like
this
loud and clear. I'm good to go, sister.
This is it. Like, I'm
and
dropping you and I'm
What's the
sending you to FBI, the agency. That's what's going to happen, and it's gone. So anyway, like I was talking, you had JCap and Methods joining FaZe. I think Methods, very strong player. It'll determine how old he is around COD Champs, about how that'll work. I don't know if that's just kind of just to get through Philly and go on after that. I mean, they dropped the 2 Halo players. They thought the Halo players were doing well, and they could have built sort of something else, but, you know, pro points come into effect. Other things come into effect. I understand those roster moves completely. And then you had Optic dropping JCap, obviously, because he's on FaZe. And then you had Optic picking up Ricky, which I think is definitely a smart move for Optic. They don't really need to build another person like Scump, Big T, Nade. They needed somebody who's really just focused on game and just knew what he was doing in game. And I think Ricky's definitely going to be that player that's going to just kind of not really teach them the game, but kind of guide them and step up in that leadership role. And Scott, they said we should be good, but it doesn't look like you're good judging by your face.
I can hear you. I heard you that whole time. I'm just waiting for something to go terribly wrong.
Well, I mean, I've introduced you 3 times, so
see, like, that's when it cuts out. Like
right there.
Yeah, but I'm good now. So
but you're good now.
I'm good now. So you, okay. I heard a little bit. You were saying Ricky as the vocal leader.
Like leadership. I like Ricky's leadership. That's good.
You know, the one thing I will say about Ricky, and the only reason
I'm going to tell my guys they can start it up because you know, they were waiting on you.
Well, hey, man, you got to wait on the pretty princess. That's how things work. But so the one thing I will say about Ricky is just Maven was telling me, like coaching him, he's a very, very humble guy.
Scott, you got to enable broadcaster mode, by the way, because
where in the shit?
Just click on your name and hit enable broadcaster mode.
That's news to me.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people have been playing with it off. I obviously have a little bit of the preferential treatment because I do coach compLexity, so I was able to convince them to turn it on and make our lives a little bit easier, Scott. So you can thank them next time you see them. Yeah. And we are about to start. I
appreciate that,
We're about to actually watch a game right now. You know, they were tired of me talking, tired of you just staring into the camera aimlessly. And, you know, it doesn't seem like you can hear me again.
I got you now. It's like it like oddly cuts out.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, that's probably your fault. I'm going to blame that
I don't think so, because when I test my microphone, sir, and I test my little headset, it works fine. So
yeah, okay. Well, you know, that's what everybody would say in your position.
I'm just blaming Ron. I'm sure he's back there, like, just like clicking random buttons.
You know, everybody in your position right now would just blame everybody else but yourself. So I completely understand that.
I would never blame you.
Obviously, because our relationship as friends would just immediately end. It would be terminated.
Yeah.
That obviously wouldn't happen. Who do you want to jump on with first in this sovereign domination game?
Well, right off the beginning, I don't think there's any reason why we should not be starting off with Karma. I think everyone always is giving credit to, I think a lot of people are giving credit to Optic for like starting the whole team change, but secretly the entire time you guys were like working Karma in the back. So I'm really looking forward to see how he's fitting. And I know you love watching him right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, even before we decided to move forward with a change, Karma was definitely one of my favorite players to watch, and he's actually one of my closer, friends out of the players that I've gotten to meet. So I'm extremely excited to be just working with Damon and just watching him play on a daily basis. And, you know, right now, off the break, he's going to be running a sub for us, and it's one of the things that's going to be a little bit of an adjustment. You know, we were talking a little bit more about how he likes to use an AR, but it looks like we're going to have him run a sub, especially on this map. And I mean, right there you see Krim actually picks up a kill in top war, and we're going to stay on with Karma because, I mean, it's a new player. Everybody wants to watch this, and it looks like EnVy is going to cap B on compLexity, but it looks like Krim is going to make a big play on C. You know,
all right, well, now that I can hear you. Okay, I'm good.
Right, so I'm on board with Crimmy Cakes right now. You know Crimmy from Halo. Good guy.
This is like the most frustrating thing in the world. Right. You just cut in and out.
And, you know, you see a lot of just slaying with the Bison right now. You know, it's one of the guns that our guys have loved to use. Have you used the Bison, Scott? Have you played a little bit?
Yeah, like...
Nah, he can't hear. You know, so our guys have really just grown more towards the Bison.
Man, you do me a favor. You solo cast for a bit. Sure,
yeah,
I'm gonna test my headset. If it's not the headset, then it's 100% you.
So, you know, I'm on board with Krim right now, and, you know, as I was saying before, he likes to use the Bison. Obviously, he picks up somebody's MTAR, and he's gonna go to work over here in green. And the Bison has been the gun that we've been going to lately. It's extremely effective up close. He's got that flash suppressor on it, and I mean, you just see Call dominating the kill feed right now. And it's just a well-placed job of just positioning. And, I mean, you have Krim over here in green. He's force-spawning him that back left that you can see on your mini-map. And he's not pushing too far up. He's making it extremely difficult for them to break green side, but it does look like EnVy is able to do that. So, checking at the scoreboard at the start of the game, you have Krim starts 6-1, TP at 6-2, Karma 2-2, Aches at 3-3, but I want to go on board with the new pickup for EnVy. I want to go on board with Gunjar. You know, Gunjar on TK, he was TK's probably their best player. I'm not going to say he wasn't. He was extremely good on TK. And I think with EnVy, going to EnVy, it's going to be a ton of pressure on Gunjar because he's going to have big shoes to fill for them to place where EnVy should place. EnVy should be a top 4 team every time. They have the talent, they have the players. It should be consistently top 4. I mean, you see, he goes down right there, and it's 3 down for EnVy, and you know they're gonna make a play on this B flag right now, compLexity, and they're able to take it back. And I really like the play out of EnVy right now. They're losing, but it seems to be that Gunjar is a pretty good fit. You know, their pacing as a team is good. That's one of the things when you make a roster change. you like to watch the pacing of the game. EnVy plays at pretty much this same pace, even when they had Karma. Yeah, I mean, even when they had JCat. And I mean, obviously, when they made the decision to go with Merc, they had this same just kind of pacing and just flow of the game. So it's important to keep that same flow when you pick up a new player. I would definitely say that's one of the most important things. Like I was saying before in the other series, you know, when you keep 3/4 of the team, there's nothing really changing chemistry-wise, because you're just kind of inserting that one player into a slot. You're not really changing a full team dynamic. I mean, you may have somebody like, it looks like Aches is running a main AR for compLexity right now, but you're not really changing anything dramatic. You know, you're kind of just slotting a guy into a role. And, you know, I'm on board with Merc right now.
Hi, Matt.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I was giving it that whole time to see if it was going to cut in and out, and it was good.
Oh, so you can hear me?
Yeah, that.
Oh, so
I was
say
listening.
something.
It was good.
Say something.
You think Goonjar's really just going to be able to slide right in, though, man?
You know, I think he's going to be able to fit in well, and I think he's going to work. I don't know if it's going to be as quick slide in as I kind of just alluded to. Yeah. I think over time, though, they're going to be able to refine their playstyle a little bit. I mean, they're going to have to change a little bit of the way they play. You know, you're losing a main. I mean, you're getting a Slayer in Goonjar, obviously, but he's a much different Slayer than Karma Damon is.
Oh, he's completely different.
Right, and I think at the start, it's going to have to be as I'm saying that Proofy picks up a 3-piece. It's going to have to be Proofy who's just going to kind of change his game a little bit. I think Proofy is going to need to be a little more aggressive.
Yeah, I'm actually a big fan of how Proofy was playing that the entire time. So
yeah.
Normally, so many times you just sovereign domination. Like me and you always talk about it, but like whenever you never want A, right? You always want to flip it and you want to go and try to get C, because A spawn is just so easy to just get slayed as soon as you get into control room, right?
Yeah.
And seeing the flip, even if when they're just trying to come around it, just putting the pressure on it is going to make a world of difference.
Absolutely. I mean, that's one of those things that you see on this map a ton, is that teams are opting to more go towards those outer flags and spawn the other team in that control area, then as opposed to just kind of keep them locked in those standard spawns. I mean, if you can neutralize the other team's home flag, I think that could be extremely productive. Especially, I mean, going into this second round, compLexity has a 3-point lead. It's not big lead at all, to be honest. It's you pretty much want to play standardly how you would normally play. But I could see EnVy coming out the bat, and somebody like Rambo or somebody like Merc making a play for compLexity's home flag.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you see him making that play right off the beginning?
I definitely could see that push off the beginning, although, you know, you only lost by 3, so there's no reason to really force the issue, so to speak. It's not like you lost by 10 to 15, and you kind of have to go for that. I think there's options there. So I want to go on board with somebody from EnVy first. Who do you want to go on board with?
Well, since I missed the entire first half, I think Proofy was kind of like my player to watch, with the exception of Karma at Columbus for me. I thought Proofy had an amazing event. Yeah. He was shooting a laser out of his AR the entire time. So I'm a big fan of him.
I mean, that's how he's been throughout, I mean, the entire Call of Duty just franchise. I mean, Proofy's AR shot has been some of the best among the game. I mean, he may have the best AR shot in the game. You know, you see him, he's using this SC 2010. I like it for a little bit of those short, medium range battles. I'm not too sure of it long range. I think the Remington's a better option.
You know, a lot of people have been saying that, and it's so funny because I remember like when the first kids went to go land, it was like TK versus like a random pickup team before
it was with Nameless on it,
yeah, with Nameless on it. Everyone's like, "Oh, dude, the Remington's so trash." Yeah. Right? And then we still saw people actually still using the Remington, and everyone's kind of like, oh, man, they're going to be so slapped on land. But then now it's, like, consistent again. It's just so funny how the tides of the guns just change, you know?
Oh, absolutely. And, I mean, you know, it's a lot of just how players just talk amongst themselves. You know, if one player goes off with one gun, they'll just kind of say, oh, that's the gun, and, you know, everyone will just give one gun a bad name. But you see, actually, EnVy coming out right off the bat and taking the B flag. That's a huge play out of them. And I want to go on board with Goonjar right now, because it looks like he's going over towards B. He's taken out, and it looks like compLexity's going to have 3 guys hop on this B flag.
Dude, it's so big when you just hop on it. And the one thing I can say, just from watching compLexity at Columbus, they do the thing that we always like to call group up, right?
Yeah.
Like they may not. Teamwork just goes so far, especially in Call of Duty, because you're going to be able to trade kills when you have the gun skill of complexity.
Yeah.
So as long as they're just running together, man, like things are going to work out perfectly fine.
Right, and that's pretty much the way we went about Columbus. I think actually, Krim, who's on your screen now, the one thing that me and Krim kept saying the entire event was just Wolfpack. That's how we looked at it. Is that we didn't have a ton of practice going in. We didn't have a ton of really just strategy on how people wanted to play the game. And our strategy was basically, let's Wolfpack together and just gang up. And if we just do everything together and just roll together, I mean, we didn't feel like there was going to be a team that was going to outslay us. And you see, actually, Karma hops down from top control and helps take B. And right here in this kind of setup, Scott, the way we like to play it is we have our AR, who looks like it's going to be Aches right now on your screen. He is going to be working this green side, and pretty much we're just going to keep flooding our subs through that right side of the map.
It makes sense because everyone knows like the predominant spawn for A is going to be right there on green side anyway, so that forces them to go all the way to control. And then your AR, whoever it wants to be, or anyone really, can just sit like kind of bottom control and just wrap around and kill anyone coming out of A.
Right, absolutely. And, one of the things that you're seeing out of us right now that, it was one of the things when we picked up Karma that, we weren't sure how it was going to work. We knew it was going to work. Was who was going to become our AR player. Our AR player needed to be somebody who was going to stay alive, a lot like Clay, and just keep plays alive for us. And it looks like we're actually it looks like Aches is going to take on that role. And, Aches is definitely one of the smartest players in Call of Duty, one of the most versatile, and I think this is the right decision, because you never want to pick up somebody like Karma and then force them into a role that they're not entirely that isn't the best fit for them. You want the newest person to be the most comfortable with the situation. And he can't hear me, but I'm sure he would definitely agree.
Dude, I have no idea what's going on. I think my 2007 Astro Mix Amp's finally on the fritz.
Oh man, that's unfortunate.
Hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, but
well, take a look at the scoreboard here. We see as complexity is absolutely dominating already.
Nah, I mean, I do like the idea of Damon running a sub as opposed to an AR. If this is how he wants to play and he feels most comfortable playing, it's our job to fit him into our scheme. It's not, there's enough teamwork between Krim and TP and Aches, to make up for, just some missed things. If Damon wants to run around, he feels he's the best with a sub and he wants to slay, that's what I want to do. But, I do see, Proofy, I think this is going to be a big opportunity for him. If Proofy can be a little more aggressive, which we saw in Black Ops 2, that was the one thing that I think that he was holding back a little bit was his aggression. He's an extremely dominant player, extremely good shot. I mean, his reaction time is second to none. That he can definitely pick up the pace. And, one of the things I didn't understand with EnVy is they kind of rid off the fact that Proofy could run a sub. I believe that could work.
Yeah.
We saw it for flashes. I mean, I watched a ton of him play, and he can run a sub. He's a very capable sub, but it's a hit or miss. Because if you have a player, to be honest, like he might be better off running a sub right now, because you need that constant aggression and pressure. And Gunjar is just, he's more of a passive player just by nature. So you can make Gunjar's transition a little bit easier by masking Proofy as a sub for a little bit, and I think he would still get very good results.
Yeah, I think the big thing here, though, is this is going to wind down here, and I don't think I should have any problems because I swapped out my old one for the 2013. I'm just not a big fan of the 2013 mix amp. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you perfect.
Okay, fantastic. I think one of the big things here with Proofy is just it's his comfort zone,
Right.
He's been basically doing the exact same role for 7 years, right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't see, like, Proofy just wake up one day and he's like, you know what, man, I'm going to just snipe. That's it.
Yeah, you wouldn't see that out of him. And, I mean, you see the kills from complexity right there. Krim 6 with 15, Karma with 13, pretty much spaced out pretty well between all of the players. And, a pretty handed victory right there. And, one of the things that is going to be different from EnVy's perspective is now you move on to Search and Destroy. Karma, one of the best snipers in Call of Duty, who kind of picks up that role for EnVy.
Is it Rambo?
I've never really seen Ray snipe. I'm sure.
Yeah,
yeah,
you did. You remember what was it? Back on Terminal in Black Ops 2, they used to run the 2 overkills.
A term. Oh yeah, you're right. Actually, he did snipe mid-haul, so you are correct. That's actually kind of shocking that you knew that. I'm impressed, Scott. I'm impressed. Yeah. That was nice. You got me. You got
a cornucopia of knowledge over here.
Yeah, you're just a genius. You can't figure out a mix amp.
And apparently have technical issues.
Yeah, you can't figure out a mix amp. A genius. And you can still hear me, Scott? Now you can't hear.
What just happened?
This is what happens when you try and get some Halo guys. Come on, they lamp around. They don't know how to use equipment. You can hear me.
It's Astro, man. I don't know. It's done.
It's done.
It's done. It's all right. I'll just be on the frets. We'll make do with it. You're getting laughs. You're doing well.
Whenever you
great.
can talk, thank you, Scott. You're just saying that because you have technical difficulties. You want me to keep you here, so you're just giving me compliments. But that's okay, Scott.
It's funny because I do videos like all the time. I never have a problem.
We did a video today.
Yours, and I all of a sudden have a problem.
We did a video today, me and you, about just roster changes in
general.
We
literally just did a video today.
Yeah. And now you just ruined it all.
Everything was fine.
Yeah.
Somehow.
I'm almost positive that's your fault. So you can hear me. Can you hear me? Because I want to ask you about something that we're changing tonight. Can you hear me?
Yes.
You're good. Okay.
Yeah.
So for both of tonight's matches, we've decided to ban.
Literally just cut out. This is like my nightmare. I'm what they call tech dumb.
Well, if you didn't tune in, everyone who's watching and can hear, okay, you can hear, now you can't. Well, I'm just going to talk anyway. If you can hear me, give an opinion. If you can't hear me, just make faces. For tonight's ProScrims, we decided to ban Danger Close, we decided to ban the ghillie suit, and we decided to remove the tracker sight, being as we felt that was probably the best conducive to gameplay. A lot of the times on Domination, we are seeing people stare at the sky, waiting to throw grenades. Blast Shield isn't a viable counter for Danger Close. This is why Danger Close is being removed, not double nades. You can run double nades with normal power. That'll be countered a little bit by Blast Shield. It reduces the people that we have just sitting in nade spots and just nading flags. I think it's a much more enjoyable game to play and watch when gun battles are actually being fought, not getting a flag and just having nades right down from the sky with double power. The tracker sight we've decided to remove because when flipped down and just ran by iron sights, it has no recoil on the guns, so it's a little bit of a cheap advantage. We decided to leave thermal because there needs to be a counter for smoke. There's no counter for smoke. That's a big problem because then we'll just see smokes everywhere and then it's just dumb. So that is the counter for that. And then the last thing we were removing for tonight's ProScrims was the ghillie suit. The ghillie suit has been used by pretty much everybody. We don't know if it messes the hitboxes up. We don't really know what it does, but people just camp and just lay in spots. And it's not enjoyable for a viewer watching, you guys at home who are the most important out of this. And it's not enjoyable to play. You're having people just camp, throw grenades in the sky, kill people, win games, and celebrate. That's not what we want. We want people to fight other people, kill other people in gun battles. And I think we're going to bring Scott back.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. I literally just swapped everything out. I'm on Turtle Beach mix amp that I've never even looked at.
Okay. But you can hear me.
Wait. Speak a full sentence for me.
Can you hear me? I am talking to you.
I think we're good.
You thought we were good like 5 minutes ago, and then I believe you thought we were good 15 minutes ago.
I can only imagine how mad you are right now.
I'm not mad.
I want you to know that I love you like a sister, no matter what
I am not mad. I have a great shirt on. I have a wonderful tan. I'm casting ProScrims. I am not mad, Scott. I'm a little upset I can't talk to you. I do enjoy conversation with you. Can you hear me?
That was a good one. I think we're officially good.
You think we're officially good? Okay. Well, now that you've said it's official, I'll take your word for it. All the other times you told me we were good, I didn't believe you because it wasn't official. And now you can't hear me, Brown. That's fine. It's cool. I'm just going to do this solo and just stare at your amazing man beard.
You buy me time, Matthew. I will figure this out.
I'm buying time. You go contact your IT guy at your house. The round is a draw, and it looks like we're going to get a restart of the lobby. So the map we're going to be playing is Warhawk Search and Destroy. As we saw in TK against Curse, a lot of the teams like to push B to that bomb spot. I know a lot of teams, they'll throw one smoke, look through it with thermal, wait, throw another smoke, and then they'll try and get the bomb down, maybe 2 or 3 smokes at some times. And then also another underrated strategy, I think, is to push along those fences. If you can push along those fences to A, he's an extremely easy guy to pick off. He sits, there's a guy always, I can guarantee it to you, if you're home and you're going to do GB or you're going to play a scrim, have a guy snipe that back truck in the window. There will be a guy there. If he's not there, you can tweet me and harass me about it. I will take full responsibility for it. There will be a guy there, though, I promise you that. And right now it looks like they're going to figure out how to get this game started up. I don't know what they're doing in the lobby. People are exiting. People are entering. Scott is entering. He is exiting. I don't know what's going on with that. But when we come back, we're going to have compLexity against EnVy. compLexity took the first map, Sovereign Domination. So we're going to have a 1-0 lead for them. And we're going to come right back after commercial break in about 3 minutes.